Namaste, Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. This is Dhammaji. I'm here to speak with you about contemplative spirituality in general, and Buddhism specifically. And we've been talking about meditation, which I'm sure informs the experience of many of you out there. There's something really on my heart that I would like to share with the group tonight that is important to all of us, whether we are just beginning a spiritual practice or whether we are well rooted in what we're already doing. And I'm speaking against the backdrop of what I've already mentioned before in a previous broadcast about the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, specific conditionality, conditioned reality, understanding how things come about, what human being is in that experience, and that the essence of the Buddhist teaching, if you could compare the whole panorama of Buddhist teaching to the leaves in the canopy of the forest, there's really only a handful of leaves that we need to concern ourselves with, and that is the cause of suffering and the path that leads away from suffering. Before we begin our meditation, just let me say that the main concern of our practice, whether we're very experienced with spirituality or just beginning to awaken to something or interested in beginning a meditation practice, is that often we're caught in this duality. There's a polarity to our existence. And many of you listening to the broadcast right now may be conscious of that. The world which we perceive, the perceived world, the world of human experience, is conditioned by concepts, ideas of being, and ideas of non-being. And with that, there's bias and attachment. And the whole world is caught in this polarity. And this polarity can be a very felt and understood experience if we avail ourselves of the meditation practice. Particularly the breathing practice is introducing us to a very palpable and measurable way to interact with the present moment and to recognize this polarity. It's the ideas of being and non-being, often expressed by I like it or I don't like it. Or for the spiritual practitioner, it's often the concept, I'm a spiritual person, or I'm on a spiritual path, or being attached to a certain set of concepts or identifying with some inspirational concepts that either lead us away from our stuckness or keep us in our situation. So, I want to begin a guided meditation, and let's focus in on that. I'm going to sound the gong, and as best as we possibly can, I know that this is a speaking sort of venue, but Just as I'm speaking now, let's begin to relax into our most natural sensibility of breathing. I'm going to sound the gong, and we're going to begin. Just breathe, relax into your breathing, and get the most natural sensibility of the in and the outward breathing. Simply breathing. Just with the breath, get a sense of being in the body, observing the breath from every point of the body. There's the sensation of air moving in and moving out, expansion and contraction. Just come to the most natural, settled sensitivity to the breath. Is the breath heavy or is it light? Let go of any ideas about breathing. Let go of any intention of, with the out breath, let go of any intention of accomplishing. Just touching the most natural sensibility of being alive in the body. Any intrusion or weight, just be sensitive to this. Things can come and introduce themselves, but you don't participate with that. Just relax and observe the breathing. And just the most primal experience of being in the body, the most intimate. No need to be, no need to go. Just the most intimate awareness recognized by the breath. Only relying on the breath, the sensation of breath in the body. Let the sensation permeate the entire body, from top to bottom. Breathing in, breathing out. Just a sense of presence. Not trying to become silent. Recognizing that the breath arises and disappears out of the wider space of silence. You are that silence. Whatever is appearing in that space may come to introduce itself. It may begin to use the words I. That's being observed. The sensation of I is being observed in this space. It is this sensation of I, the identification with the body. I am the body. Breathing in, you recognize this form, that this sensation of form. Is that form permanent? Just using the breath, the sensation of breath, investigate for yourself. When form is arising, what is it dependent on? Is there any self in form? Is there a sensation of interest in this attachment to form? How does the identification with the body arise? Do we see form as suffering form? Is there a sense of admiration? We may feel a sense of pressure, of interest, of being drawn into a fascination with form, with a feeling, with the mental formation. Is there a sense of interest? Is there something being introduced in the moment? Of, I want to be, I don't want to be. Breathing, just breathing in this settled state. There's already recognition. There's the recognition that recognizes health, gender, presence, that's natural to your being. It's not dependent on any ideas of being or non-being. When we look at form, investigate. Is form permanent? Is there any part of form that we can permanently identify as self, as belonging to self, as self-inhabiting? Just the sense of being in the body, just explore with the breath. Just the sensation of being. This original state. Prior to the arising of anything, prior to the arising of I. Is there a sensation of reaching out, of wanting to say I, to embrace an idea? Go ahead, look. Just using the energy of presence. Just the energy of the breathing itself. What is this recognition in the body? Is there an attraction? Is something asking for your interest? Is there a sense of aversion or revulsion? When we explore just with the breath, just with the sensation of being, recognizing what is being present with us, presented to us, introducing itself to us. Only the sense of I has the will to identify and become. Just abide in the natural state of presence. On seeing a form with the eye, there's consciousness at the eye. Is that consciousness permanent? Is it impermanent? What is it dependent on? If it is dependent on causes and conditions, can it be myself? On sensing a contact of smell, an odor, a fragrance? Consciousness arising from within, is it reaching out with interest? Is there a felt sensibility of preference? Is this smell I? Is it mine? Is it me? Is it myself? On what is it dependent? If it is dependent on something, can it be myself? The sense of feeling in the body, of touch, of contact. Can anything be felt without contact? Can the horizon, again, just touching with the breath, the sensation of breathing, without ideas, without preferences, without an agenda. Can you from this place see where contact and feeling arise? Is there a frontier where you begin and the feeling begins? Is there a border between the sensation and the sensor? Can this frontier be seen? If touch is dependent, just with the sensation of breathing, explore this. Just explore this on your own. Touch is dependent on contact. So then, is there permanent self in touching? Where is the witness in the breath? Is there an agenda? Is there a preference? Something can only take our attention if we're interested in it, if we identify with it. What formation in this stream of awareness, what formations are appearing? Is there a sense of stability, or is there a sense of instability? Just feel this with the sense of being in the body. Ideas may come. Let them come. Don't hold on to them. If you are the witness of this sensation and an idea comes, can the idea be yourself? Just in the stream of awareness, we navigate purely with a sense of being in the breath. Just like a person sailing a boat would maintain their bearing and read the various depths and channels of the water, just with our sense of breathing. Is there a leaning towards one side or away from another side? Is there a sense of intentionality or identification arising with the formations that come? So, this intelligence that is just a sense of being, all things are being witnessed in that space of intelligence without the need to identify, without the need to hold on. Can this place be seen? Can any idea remain? Can any idea of me being outside or separate from the universe? Just investigate this with your own being, with your own breath. As you're breathing, is there a weight? Is there a freight pressing? A sense of having to go? Just feel this with the breath. There's just this consciousness itself. Before this awareness came into the body. Before it began to identify with anything. Before it understood that I am a gender, or I am a color. Before the sense of I am, there is a presence. And there's an intelligence that's not dependent upon identifying with form, with sensation, with perception, with thoughts. Just resting in this vantage point. Investigate. Is the sensation suffering? Is it personal suffering? There's a feeling when the body is hurt. But then there's the idea of being that comes to introduce itself. And that introduction comes with a story. Then there's the pain of identifying and believing in the story. Is there a sense of attachment? Just abiding in the breath. Is there a need for any idea, for any feeling? Just investigating with the breath, just the breath alone. We approach spirituality for many reasons. The principal one is we want to find our way out of suffering. As it were, to awaken from a dream. Many of us listening to the video now are perhaps interested in spiritual exploration. Perhaps you're very experienced doing some practice or have a devotion to some sacred ideal. But find the duality, the paradox of being inside or outside, feeling that there's some distance to travel, or some dichotomy of me when I'm practicing, me when I'm meditating, me in a circumstance, ideas of sacred or unsacred. So the importance of the meditation that I hope that we enjoined in together just a moment ago, the Buddhist practice is to investigate the nature and the experience of what we call human being in this manner. To see things in their arising, how they originate, how they manifest, express themselves, and then to understand the importance of how these things pass away. In other words, the path, what we call the path to liberation. And just in that, using the instrumentality of the meditation, some of us may be doing different types of practices, as I said, but the principal benefit is that we do a personal investigation and find that ideas fall short or confuse or interfere with the process. So we come to the most intimate, the most primal immediacy of the breath experience, the experience of aliveness just in and of itself, to come to a more purer, perhaps that's not the right way to say it, there's no coming or going in our intention. There's more of a recognition of what is already essential in the present. A natural intuitiveness, just like you know that you're a man or a woman, or that you're a certain race, or that you're healthy or sick, or young or old. There's a natural intuitiveness that's before I. Before the I that reaches out and grabs onto an idea. And there are many inspiring ideas. And it's okay to embrace ideas, and there's teachings that we can learn, and certainly admirable and skilled people whom we can follow, but only as an individual expression of consciousness in your own being can you truly explore the inner nature yourself. So it's kind of a paradox that we must embrace, that we make an effort to find a place of effortlessness in ourselves, that we remove ideas about ourselves to really be what we already are. If you want to regard that as sacredness, we can do that because it's very unique, and only in the present moment can you be what you truly are. Only in this present life can you make an effort, if we will, to find that place. So yes, there's a sacredness to it because it's the only vitality that we have to work with in this present time, in this moment, in this life, in this precious life. So, before we end the program tonight, I just want to say that let's end, as spiritual travelers, let's end these ideas of dichotomy. Let's embrace the paradox of becoming, the paradox that we make must make an effort to find that which is true and essential and effortless within us. Let's embrace that. And I'm trusting that in whatever way you're practicing, in whatever tradition you're practicing, you'll pursue that invitation. Before we close, I want to share this with you. If you have any comments or wish to communicate or have questions about anything that we're talking about on these broadcasts, go to my website, contemplativetraditions.org. That's contemplativetraditions.org, and go to the part of the site where it says Contact Us, and you can send me a message, and I'll either hopefully be able to directly exchange information with you, or either address that question or comment in our broadcasts. And I also want to thank Brother David Holmes for his patience and devotion to the wakeful life by helping to produce these programs. And thank my dear brother Sean Bradley of the Teo Franciscan community, who is giving support to this idea that we want to embrace the world with positive, awakening messages to uplift hearts and to turn people towards compassion and enlightenment. So we want to give thanks to that. I also honor my teachers and my practice lineage. And thank you all for your attention, and hope that I will be able to speak with you again soon. Om, Namaste, Namo Buddhaya. Thank you.